It's Monday, July 23rd, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central. Show number 784, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Our July special, Get.com, for just $4.95. Purchase up to 3 domains using code 495GEEK. Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Hey, I got a great show lined up for you. You know what comes next. You know what it is. Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Showtime.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central. Coming to you as live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii via the Geek News Central studio overlooking Greater Honolulu. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran, and I want to encourage you to visit the website over at geeknewscentral.com. Check out all our great content. Of course, all you got to do is once you get over there, it's real easy to get subscribed to the show. You'll find all the information there in the second column of the website. And, get subscribed. Of course, sign up for our newsletter as well. The newsletter contains all things that I'm going to talk about in our show today. It'll be sent out immediately following the show to all of our Ohana, all of our longtime listeners. Of course, if you are a longtime listener or viewer of the show, thanks for being here and thanks for being part of the family. I tell you, got a great show lined up for you tonight, and I'm running just a little bit late on my normal start time. We had Amazon decided it did not want to work tonight, so we're up on Ustream primary tonight, which is kind of weird. So I had to switch gears just a little bit, which threw me off. But you have shows prepped, you're all done, you're ready to walk into the studio, and you hit stream on the machine, and it says, "Hey, I don't want to do it." And what it takes then is because Amazon, when I build that instance, it takes about 10 minutes to build it up and 10 minutes to tear it down and then 10 minutes to build it back up again. So it's not an immediate deal. So you have to wait a little bit, and it just didn't get back up before I had time to get the show started. Of course, if you want to reach out to me tonight, it's real easy. All you got to do is on Twitter. You can reach me at Geek News is the Twitter account. Of course, you can email me always at geeknews@gmail.com. Our hotline's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 619-342-7365. And, of course, I want to encourage you to come over and check out our blog. Really, the writers over there are doing a great job putting up fresh content for you there on a daily basis. Lots of great articles. We'll talk about some of that stuff here in a few minutes. I want to take care of a few pieces of business, though, to start the show right off to begin with tonight. And I tell you, I've got a great deal for you. And when you come over to geeknewscentral.com, what you may see in the coming weeks is a change. We're talking about doing an update. I was talking with my creative guy today, and largely because we're going to be running a little different banner ad stuff on the website. And the way it's designed right now, it just quite doesn't work the way I want it to. So he's going to probably look at a complete site redesign or a freshening of the site. It's been a couple of years since we did that, so we'll do it. But let's talk about our sponsor, GoDaddy.com. Of course, Geek News Central is hosted on a dedicated server over at GoDaddy. And we got a great promotion for you this month. And it's all about saving money on .coms. And when you get over to GoDaddy, all you got to do is use my 495 Geek code, and you're going to get up to 3 domains at $4.95 each. And basically, this is the best deal on the planet. It is an absolutely astounding deal. I challenge you to find .coms anyplace cheaper. And really, if you're looking to pick up some domain names, and you're going to get 3, you can save nearly $10 off the regular price, because additional .coms are $7.99 per year. So that shows you it's a $3 off per domain. So definitely check that out. Of course, don't forget we've got hosting and promo codes for you as well. So definitely check out all the promo codes at geeknewscentral.com. /GoDaddy. And it's real easy to check all those codes out. Again, geeknewscentral.com /GoDaddy. Basically, we've got everything from $20 off on orders 75 or more, down to $5 off orders $30 or more, down to 20% on some hosting accounts, 10% on domain orders, 10% on non-domain orders. Got .com renewals as well for $8.49. So just a whole plethora of codes there, including SSL certificates at $12.99, and that's a steal. It really is. But don't forget, our special ends here at the end of the month for the $4.95 .coms. So definitely check that out. Well, I've got a lot in the stack tonight for you from a news perspective. We're going to get into that in a few minutes. Talk a lot about that. But the promotion is going on, and to be honest with you, I've been pretty swamped. Had a pretty busy weekend here. I've had just this ongoing amount of meetings, and it's been crazy. And we started a new advertising campaign today with Zeus.com, and actually it's running on the Adam Carolla show. So basically it's getting ready for that campaign to start. And you're going to hear about the Zeus promotion over there at Adam's show for a couple of weeks. And but if you're single and you're looking to get connected, definitely check out Zeus.com /Adam. And there's a special promotion over there by checking that out. But we want to welcome Zeus on board as a sponsor. Now, they're not sponsoring this show, but it's just a pretty big commitment by them to come on board, start advertising and podcast. So that's one of the things I had been working on quite a bit. And hopefully, if this campaign with Adam is successful, they'll be back and advertising on more shows. But one of my friends introduced me to the folks over there at Zeus, and so we've made a good connection with them, and look forward to see how that campaign goes. My wife has been a little bit under the weather here for the last few days, so that's had me loaded up doing double duty and making sure she's okay, and as she's kind of in recovery mode, and I've been getting caught up here as well. So things have been pretty crazy. Now, as far as the internal promotion that's been going on here at Geek News Central, where we're encouraging you to become an insider of the show, and really to become an insider is real simple. You go over to geeknewscentral.com /insider, and all the details are there on that page. And basically, we've got a contest going on, or promotion going on, and you don't have to contribute to win. If you don't want to contribute, it's fine. You just send an email to geeknews@gmail.com, and you basically say, "Hey, I want to support the show," and all you have to do is just put GNC support show, or just something close to that in the email header in the subject line, and send that out, and we'll put you in the stack. And for those folks that actually become contributors to the show, we actually put you in the stack as well. We're real close being able to draw our next name out of the stack. Been modifying to see. I want to get this stuff gone by show 800, and I don't know if we're going to make it or not, because we're only 16 shows away. That's less than 2 months, and got a pretty big amount of money we'd like to raise to help build the show up and get to the point where we could potentially consider dropping a second sponsor spot. But that's where we're at this point. So I do want to welcome the folks from GoToMeeting back to the campaign. They're back on here. We're going to be with us for a while. And, really, you guys know and have known for a long time that I'm a big fan of using GoToMeeting. And you guys know that it's in my arsenal of tools that I use to really get down to business and do business. So, during the summer, it seems like everyone is just really on a different schedule, vacations, shorter days, working remote. So meeting with clients and colleagues in person just sometimes can be totally impossible. And living here in Hawaii, I do a lot of remote meetings. And that's why I recommend GoToMeeting with HD Faces. And, they've got a great application here, and it's a great tool. It lets you meet face-to-face no matter where you are this summer. And with GoToMeeting by Citrix, it just takes a webcam and a click to collaborate in a group. It's got HD video. You can even join from an iPad. You can see your attendees eye to eye, and that's really important, while collaborating on documents in real time. And you just, you feel connected. You really do. So GoToMeeting is easy to use. iPad users, all you got to do is download it, the free GoToMeeting app, get it from the App Store. And, I've used GoToMeeting for a long time, and it's basically the convenience of using the iPad app to join a meeting is pretty outstanding. So if you've got a business person saying, oh, we're going to be on vacation or I'm going to be off doing this, and you say, well, maybe you can sneak in a 10-minute GoToMeeting session. It works out good. So as a listener viewer of this show, try GoToMeeting free for 30 days. And really, it's a piece of cake. All you do is go over to GoToMeeting.com. You click on the Try It Free button and use the promo code podcast. Be sure to use the promo code podcast. That'll get us credit here for your utilization and your trial. But again, visit GoToMeeting.com, click on the Try It Free button, and use the promo code podcast. And we want to thank GoToMeeting for being a sponsor. Of course, they've been a sponsor here of this show for a long time, and we want to thank them for doing so. All right, let's go ahead and get into the regular stack of content that I've got here tonight. Let me get this closed. Let me go through my short list that I have, and I think that's good. So let me load up Chrome here and see what I have got. And I'll be honest with you, the last couple of shows, we've had some long ones, but we've been talking about a lot of important topics. But I want to share with you something, and if you've been over to geeknewscentral.com already, you have seen this. This video that I discovered is simply incredible. It's a video from the International Space Station. And I'm just going to play a little, and for those of you that are listening, if you don't come over to the website and watch this, or if you haven't seen it already, I apologize. You're missing a huge treat here. But I'm only going to play just a few seconds of this because I don't want to get into a copyright issue. But I just want to show the folks that are watching just a little bit of this. And this is incredible. It starts out in kind of the zoom factor. It almost looks like a something out of something like out of Star Wars. And it goes into these night views. And I mean to tell you, it's incredible. Simply incredible amount of video. And it goes on for 3 minutes and 48 seconds. It's set to some music that is just absolutely fitting. The music's by John Murphy, Sunshine. It's called Sunshine, and but the folks over at NASA and Johnson Space Center have done just an incredible job with this. And all I can say is you just got to go view it. It's totally awesome. I think I've watched it 3 or 4 times. My wife has watched a couple times. My kids have. We played it on the big screen. I actually loaded it up on Google TV, and we blew it up on our 60-inch TV, and we watched it in from a dark room. Incredible. I can't say enough. But come over to the website at geeknewscentral.com. The link will be up in the show notes. Of course, our show notes are on gncshow.notes.com, or where the show notes are at. So definitely go over to gncshow.notes.com, and you'll find all the links. Hey, I was going to mention, during the last show, I was not aware of what was going on in Colorado. I had gotten done with the show and basically kind of jumped over to Twitter real quick and had checked and seen some of the initial news, and obviously a horrible thing has happened there, and the hearts go out to those folks and those victims' families. True tragedy. But it's just you never understand what drives a person to do these types of things, and and he was just to be honest with you and put it bluntly, hell bent on inflicting pain and destruction, and he did just that. So we'll see what the state of Colorado does with this individual. And but boy, I tell you, just you got to just pay attention these days, don't you? You're not safe anywhere. And this leads into a story that actually was down in Australia as well. Tens of thousands of people receive a text message that contained a death threat, and the text message was from a self-proclaimed hitman who sent thousands of people in Australia this message. some paid to me to kill you get spared 48 hours to pay $5,000. If you inform the police or anybody, death is promised. Email me now." And he puts in the email address. Well, this text comes to your phone. You're going to get in this text. And you're like, this guy says he's going to kill me. He's been hired to kill me. I don't know if they have the equivalent of a 911 in Australia or not, but I know that would be like the thing I would do. It'd be like, do, do, do. That would be dialing 911 immediately. And that is exactly what happened. But apparently this is an old scam. It's been done onesie-twosies here and there. But this was sent to thousands, tens of thousands of people in Australia. So, just imagine, here you hear this story in Colorado, then you hear about this hitman sending out a text message. It's enough to unnerve you. But obviously with something like that, you would think with a digital signature, the Australian police should be able to track that back. Just total nuts what's going on in the world today. Over on Ars Technica, there's a company called NTP, and they're basically a patent troll. And I have to laugh because again, their company name is NTP, and yet you just ought to change it around to NPT, so National Patent Troll. But this patent holding company, NTP Incorporated, won a $612.5 million settlement for BlackBerry back in 2006. Has struck gold again with settlements involving 13 of the biggest tech industries. So basically what they hold a patent on is wireless email. So I guess if you check your email wirelessly, you're infringing on this patent. This is incredible. I don't know how long these folks have had a patent for wireless email, but, come on. Now, they say that they tried to make their products in 1990, but it was way too early. Its predecessor company was working on building systems to send email over wireless systems in 1991 and 92. It said in that era, almost no one had email, and cell phones were the size of briefcases. They were way too early. And so just, they got lucky on this one here. And it just makes you wonder, how long is this patent good for? And seeing that they had it in 1990. But anyway, they have been able to get a huge amount of money for being, early to submit this. But it just goes to show you how screwed up our patent system is, wireless email, which we all take for granted today. And it goes on, this Apple versus Samsung, Samsung versus Apple, who's making money are the lawyers and wasting a lot of time with some judges. And some judge just said down in Australia that this patent dispute is totally ridiculous and is trying to send the two parties to arbitration. But, some of these folks, some of these companies, they're charging an average of like $550 an hour. So if you think about this, you've got a law firm that's probably got, a half dozen partners and then the associate lawyers and so forth. And, let's say you're taking 10 or 15 people that are working full time on a case like this, and they're billing $500 an hour. These folks are making some money. Now, Samsung, the lawyers that they have, they're charging $821 an hour. That's insane. $821 an hour for a lawyer fee. That's where you want to be a company with lots of B's in your budget, because if you had M's in your budget, millions, you would burn through that pretty doggone fast. So that's incredible type of money. But these folks are, raking in some cash. I guess patent lawyers, that's a business to be in these days. That's for sure. It's definitely not helping all of us. But let's switch gears here and get away from the patent law and those lawyers make. Hey, I know there's probably some lawyers out there wish they could bill $821. People give us a hard time when we tell them what our programming rates are, and but let's be honest, it's not cheap. When if you have a developer who's got 10 plus years of experience doing code, you're getting quality work at a much faster pace, and you're gonna pay for that. And I guess that's the same with lawyers. You get a quality firm, you're going to get what you pay for. Let's talk about privacy stuff. Microsoft/Skype. There's snooping accusations that are making the rounds on the internet. So a report published on Slate last week suggests that there may possibly be basically a hack in order to bug Skype. Skype's not saying whether it can eavesdrop on your conversations, but let's think about this. Skype is one of the biggest systems that are out there where people are making person-to-person calls. It's being used internationally. And can you imagine the government allowing them to operate without the ability to wiretap? Now, if Uncle Sam comes calling with a warrant and says, I have a warrant here to snoop on so-and-so, and a company says, no, we can't do that, you all of a sudden get in probably have some big issues with the government. So I would suspect, even though the company is not admitting that they can do it, and because they're being evasive and not very clear and forthcoming, I wouldn't be surprised at all that they're able to eavesdrop and record conversation. All of it's just digital data, right? So if stuff's going over digitally, it just makes sense that they'd be able to do that. So if they're not cooperating, they'll be one of the first companies ever to not cooperate in these types of deals. So I think all of us on the right side of the law, those of us are not, probably will never, ever become under the scrutiny of the federal government for even a state or local authority for a wiretap subpoena. I don't think you'll end up, is that the right word? Warrant, not subpoena, warrant. I don't think any of us have to worry about having our Skype conversations being wiretapped, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is a true deal where the government is able to get access to that. Now, in Japan, things have gotten on the total ridiculous. A publishing exec has been arrested. He faces jail time because a book tells people how to back up DVDs. Now, in Japan, they have some severe punishments for people that are doing copyright violations. For example, downloading unauthorized copies that are backing up content from a DVD were both subject to criminal penalties. And here is one that's no joke. The Metropolitan Police Department arrested Yoshiki Kazukawa, 43, an executive Chiyoda Ward publisher, Sensei Book Incorporated, and 3 other company employees on suspicion of violating the unfair competition prevention law, and sent papers on the firm to the Tokyo District Police Prosecutor's Office. According to a senior police official, these are the nation's first arrest over the distribution of software to remove copyright protection. Now, if you think about this, they should be able to arrest a lot of people. You rip a DVD, you're going to get arrested. In this story on Tech Dirt, they say it's interesting to note that Japanese cyber police could arrest Amazon Japan CEO as the online giant is selling a lot of magazines, book, and software packages for DVD copy and ripping. So in other words, there's magazines and books out there that to tell people how to do that. So this is an interesting action here by the police department. It may be kind of something that's there's going to be more of this. So, and maybe it's trying to frighten people as well. But come on, ripping DVDs, we all rip DVDs from time to time, right? My wife's making, she's taking VHS, she got some VHS tapes, making them to DVD, and she's saying, honey, can you take that DVD and put it on my my iPad. I'm like, sure, we can rip it and we can put it on there. And she's, how many can I put on? I'm like, until it's full. But you know, give me a break. How to back up and rip DVDs or throwing people in jail. Simply crazy. Now, this one you have to smile about. You know, there's lots of artists out there who are obviously very concerned about their media being put up on peer-to-peer sites and everything else. But a new band or a rock band called Fiction Plane has basically come out with an app. And he's encouraging people to download the app. And what it does is, as people are using the app, they're able to record concerts and so forth. And it basically allows people in close proximity shoot video with their iPhones and allows them to upload the clips and view a movie automatically spliced together from different angles. So basically what this does is they are, you know, each person that is it tags them based on where their position is using their GPS. So they're recording something going on in the concert, takes the time hack, the GPS location, and then embeds that. And then when it sends it to the server can put together the entire recording, all sourced by the fans. This is really, really cool. And this is a really I'm thinking about this. I'm like, holy smacks, this is cool. And this is just an incredible way to really promote yourself, especially if you're a band, and get your audience to help, you know, make videos of you. And the software will automatically splice it together. So I'm sure that the recording companies are going to come in and try to buy up the company that made this in order to try to keep this for their own and make this an added value to what they're already offering. So, you know, concerts have always been a place where we go for a social experience. You know, if you don't want you go to hear the boom, boom of the bass of the music, plus to be there with the throb of the people and get that energy, right? You're not going to unless you're in Japan, you're not going to a concert to sit in a chair and quietly listen to a rock show. You may go to an orchestra and sit quietly and listen, but you're still you get the ambiance and everything else. So this is pretty cool. And the company that built this is based in Los Angeles, has 13 employees. So very cool stuff. They raised some money already. So we'll see where this goes. But cool way to put an app together. And it's a free program. Let's see if I can find the name of the actual app. I think it's, the company that put it together is VYL Cone, VYLCONE. So I'll see if I can have it linked up in the show notes for you, but definitely a cool way to go. All right, Google wants you to use your real name on YouTube. So when you go to make a comment on YouTube, they're going to pop a little bar saying, hey, you want to link your Google Plus profile? And if you do, they're going to put your real name in there. So some people want to remain anonymous. Well, Google's trying to force you into being more public. We'll see how well this goes over. All right. Android-based devices are being activated at a very huge and fast, incredible rate. Nearly 1 million a day. And users are downloading apps and games at just incredible rates as well. But what's going on here? Developers of Android-based games and apps are not really keen on porting the games and apps that have been successful on iOS to Android. And this is largely because of rampant piracy on Android. A company called Madfinger Games joined the long list of developers who recently turned their paid Android-based game, a Dead Trigger, to a free one. They originally put it available, made it 99 cents. But there was so many people downloaded it and didn't pay for it, and it basically ended up on share sites that they are just like, hey, we don't want to deal with this. So this is a big problem for those on the Android side. You know, it's 99 cents. Pay for the doggone game, folks. Come on. You know, I find it incredible that people would pirate something for $1. You know, even my 8-year-old, he comes in, he wants to get me buy an app, and I'll look at the app and I'll read the description. We'll talk about it. And usually I make him take one app off my phone or iPad in order to get something. And I'm it's a treat type of thing if he's if he's acting been good and so I'm not I don't have an issue paying 99 cents. My 14-year-old, he wants some apps for his iTouch, and basically it comes out of his allowance. So then he has to think about whether he wants it. If he does, then he buys it. But boom, I short him $1 when it comes to allowance day, and same thing with my daughter. So we pay for apps, and we've talked about not pirating apps, and of course we're an iOS family right now, so it just amazes me that people would pirate stuff for $1. It really, really is. This is cool. You guys hear about this? I guess 2 decades ago, Discovery Channel teamed up with Lowell Observatory, and they embarked on a $53 million adventure. They built the 5th largest telescope in the United States. And this is an article over on space.com, and it's basically they're showing off one of the first images that this privately funded telescope has produced. It's an awesome picture image. They took this with a 14-meter mirror built in Arizona, and so here this is done by Discovery, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so what's Discovery going to be doing with this? And so this is an interesting move, and I was completely unaware of this. And basically, they say this is a mission of theirs to ignite curiosity and stir the imagination of audiences here and around the globe. And the telescope presents discovery in both word and deed, and are thrilled to see the amazing places it will take us with breathtaking images and vital new research. Now, here's the thing I think is going to be cool about this, is that unlike NASA, who just kind of feeds us stuff once in a while, the folks at Discovery are going to put the entire library, they're going to make it available online for people to check out. So as this thing is taking more images, we're going to see lots of cool stuff. Hey, NASA tested an inflatable heat shield. Yes, you heard that correctly. An inflatable heat shield. And it had a perfect test with it, a prototype of a large inflatable heat shield that basically that could one day be used for landing large payloads on Mars, was tested on the 23rd, and it survived a hypersonic speed through Earth's atmosphere. The inflatable reentry vehicle, IRVE-3, traveled at speeds of 12,231 kilometers, or 7,600 miles per hour, after launching on a sounding rocket from NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Wallops Island, Virginia. So it deployed, it did what it was supposed to do, and they got some video up on it as well. And so everyone's pretty happy this thing survived its reentry and didn't de-inflate, I guess, for a better word. So pretty cool stuff. Hey, we've talked about this next story before, but there's a cover story on it on Fox News. Found this via my RSS reader, and the question has come up again: what does space smell like? And so, of course, it's not like they can lift the lid and smell, right? And but astronauts say it's something I've never ever smelled before, but I'll never forget it. And if have any of you ever smelled the smell from welding? I used to do a lot of welding for my dad. And if you've used an arc welding torch before, you'll know what that arc smells like. But he says that space, the best description come up with is metallic, a rather pleasant, sweet metallic sensation. The guy said, and basically what happens is they get in after the airlock and they pop their lids after the airlock is repressurized. They still have this lingering smell. And they don't know exactly the phenomena that's going on and how they can still smell this after they get inside. It's either on the suit or whatever. But it's kind of an interesting description of what space smells like. Now, they go on to say the interior of the International Space Station smells like a little more mundane. He says the space station smells like a half machine shop, engine room laboratory. So if you think about a machine shop, my grandfather had one with a engine room, so a little bit of oil grease with the machinery working, mixing with some food smells from time to time. That's kind of an interesting combination if you think about it. But he says it's not a smell you'll likely forget because it's just a little bit different. Hey, on iOS 6, this I don't necessarily care for this new feature, but with iOS 6, it's being reported that users will not be required to enter a password when downloading free apps. I have an 8-year-old and I'm controlling how many apps are going on the computer. I'm on my devices because he can't just add them. So now it doesn't matter if you re-download or your first download, free app downloads do not encounter the pop-up password request. Now, I've got a real issue with this. So we should have the ability to force this because I don't want my kids just grabbing free apps. I really don't. Because, I give them unfettered access to the iPad and the other devices. Long as they're used in public rooms where we're at, they can't just run off to their bedrooms with them. Same with the computers and the iTouch and everything else. They have to stay in public areas. And some of my friends don't understand why we do that, but you guys understand why I do. Now they'll just be able to add stuff like crazy. And I guess we're going to have to announce new rules in the house when iOS 6 comes out. Because I'm not going to allow just apps be loaded willy-nilly. I'm really not. All right, with this new iPhone 5 dock. And, of course, they're announcing that there's some speculation that the iPhone 5 may be available on September 21st. And it's going to be coming out with a new dock, a new docking connector. And that's got a lot of us concerned. Many of you have devices used to play music on. You're going to want to upgrade to the new phone, and you'll have a 30-pin connector on your iPhone 4, this new 19-pin connector on the iPhone 5. So they're trying to make more room in the device. So apparently they put this in there as a way to put the headphone jack on the bottom. And they made the connector smaller. They say they're going to make an adapter. So, the thing is, if you make how it is when you put an adapter on something, you start stacking them, especially if you've got them in, something that you use to play music in, or it's, a little alarm clock or something like that. Think of all the chargers you have. How many are they going to sell each phone with an adapter? And because, I got a lot of stuff around here. We got extra chargers and stuff. So this could cost us a lot more with this upgrade, being that we have to deal with, an adapter now. And if you want to have an adapter-free device, you're going to have to buy, a car charger, all that stuff. So we'll see where this leads. But, boy, what a change. And, boy, the accessory folks going to love this for sure. All right, that was over on Extreme Tech. Another article I found on extremetech.com. Of course, this was all over the airwaves. I actually got an email this morning on it myself talking about this. It's the new Canon mirrorless, basically, camera. So it's the mirrorless. So this is the first camera provided by Canon with an interchangeable lens that compacts and accepts Canon's full range. Check this out. Full range of DSLR lenses. And basically what they've done is they put a sensor in the camera, just like you would have on, and let me show you an image here. So those of you that have like a Rebel T4i, you take the lens off this new Canon EOS M, and basically the price is almost the same, but you're going to be able to put the lens from the Canon EOS on the Canon EOS Rebel on the Canon EOS M. Now the price for this bad boy is $800 with a 22 millimeter lens. It's got an 18 megapixel point. It's about half a pound, It shoots photos at 5184 by 3456. Same resolution, by the way, as the Canon EOS Rebel T4i. Does video 1920 by 1080. Has an external flash that you'll have to buy. Will do up to 4.3 frames per second as compared to 5 frames per second on the Canon EOS Rebel. So about the same price, about $800. So this is an interesting move by Canon, and it's got a smaller form factor. And I'll be honest here. I looked at this, and if I get the quality of pictures with that I would get out of my. You see, I've got a 60. I've got a little higher end Canon, but if we're going to shows like CES and so forth, where I'm just going to be shooting product pictures and where I'm trying to keep the weight down, this might be the camera to buy. I'm due for another little pocket camera, and this one's smaller. So $800 is a lot of money to spend, but when you're humping gear for a full week, and basically it's a lot lighter. It's a whole pound lighter. You think that's only a pound? Well, carry a whole pound for a whole day plus everything else in the bag, and making more room. This may be the and because I can use my other lenses on it too. Boy, very compelling, very, very compelling, and it has a similar sensor to the Rebel T4i, just a small body factor. So this is exciting. It really is. This is the first camera like this will accept a different lens that's mirrorless in this form factor. All right, the Samsung Galaxy 3 has hit 10 million units already. So don't let there be any doubt that the Samsung Galaxy 3 is basically the hottest smartphone in the market right now. And boy, in just 2 months, the Samsung has broken the 10 million barrier. It's incredible. Incredible number of sales. And I was just talking with a buddy of mine today. I said, hey, the iPhone is no longer the only animal in town. I just wish the Android operating system it just seems to me still a little bit behind. And if Google can close that gap, it'd be a big help. Hey, over in computer world, several major computer companies, including Microsoft and Symantec, today kicked off what they're calling the International Technology Upgrade Week. And basically, this is a week where they're trying to persuade users to keep their code current. And apparently, a huge number of people, 4 out of 10 adults admitted that they do not upgrade software when they're first prompted. And of the 75% who said they received such prompts, half acknowledged that they needed to see an upgrade notification between 3 and 5 times before they downloaded and installed the new code. That's a lot. Upgrade. Don't waste. These updates are designed to protect you from being hacked. So make sure that you're doing that. All right. How many of you got an aging vehicle? How many of you have had some air conditioning problems? Well, CNET's got a review on using AC Pro Recharge Kit. It's a do-it-yourself fix-it kit for aging car air conditioners. So definitely check this out. Remember how you used to pay someone $100 to or maybe even more than that, to charge your AC system? So they've got a good review and how this was done. So definitely check that out. You don't have to be a techie. Just be cautious when you're working on your vehicle. As this one guy found out, he got a little bit of a rub burn because he got too close to a belt. He's lucky he didn't lose his whole hand because, if you have a piece of clothing on your clothes and you reach into an area where there's a belt, it could grab that and just that quick your arm's gone. So be very careful. Turn your vehicles off when you're hooking this stuff up. Don't get near the moving parts, okay? And but this is specifically designed for vehicles with R134A as the refrigerant. So you need to check that out as well. Hey, I listened to a very cool audio piece today on BBC Radio 4. Satellite turns 50. And it's been 50 years since the first public satellite television images were beamed across the Atlantic from the United States or Britain and mainland Europe. And they go into this event that happened 50 years ago. It's a 3-minute and 15-second audio piece. So I'll definitely let you check that out. I have that link up in the show notes. It's pretty cool to hear the history on that. And it's hard to believe it's only been 50 years since we've been able to basically beam a television signal from one continent to the other. Also, ours has a great article on using your PC to stream videos to your phone, and there's some apps out there. Emit is an application where you can use your computers as a streaming media hub, and this is primarily for those of you that are on Macs. So I have this link up in the show notes. Many of us probably already have a home server or something like that, have an ability to do that. But definitely check out this link if you're a Mac user and want to figure out how to stream videos from your home PC to your phone. Okay. Love this, and scary at the same time. And what am I talking about? Well, let's say you show up at the office and there's a brand new power strip underneath your desk. And you think, oh, the IT folks came in during the nighttime and replaced power strips. Well, that power strip might not have been put in by the IT folks. It may have been put in by someone that broke in and is hacking your system. This power strip is called the power pawn. It's a Trojan horse. It attacks networks basically taking attacks to a network to a whole new level. The pawn plug is designed by a company that is basically getting funding from DARPA. You know who DARPA is, right? Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. It's underneath their Fast Track program. The company has even created a stealthier tool for testing and cracking networks, one designed, again, as a power strip. And it's available for pre-order. So this is funded by DARPA, by a private company. And basically, this thing is loaded. It's got a Linux-based computer with hacking software, including a high-gain Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antenna, as well as dual Ethernet ports. There's also an external 3G GSM adapter that allows it to use cellular wireless networks. It can be pre-configured using a web interface and can casually be swapped for the power strip on any computer on the network. And because it's got a place to plug in a network, it can look like it's actually being used to protect the network from power surges. So it's got an in-outie plug. So, basically this thing can sit there and hack away. And this is pretty incredible. Companies are using these to see what kind of activity is going on in their network and to see how effective it is for people not to letting someone come in and set something up like this. So link will be up in the show notes. Definitely check this out. Yeah, have you wondered about what's going on with Windows and OS 10 running on the new Retina resolution Mac computers? Well, apparently it works great, and scaling can be an issue at some times. But I got a good article here to link you to that'll basically show you what Windows looks like underneath the Retina display. And I'm looking at this. It looks like, boy, you can do 2 full browsers there. But Windows 7 running at 2880 by 1800. They had to do some changing to DPI settings as well. Text looked great at 200%. And they had to actually expand the size of the icons to be bigger. Performance wasn't bad at all. So I'll have this link up. So if you're thinking about dropping Windows on that new MacBook Pro or MacBook that you bought that has the Retina display, you can do so. All right. Again, I talked about the iPhone 5 potentially arriving on September 21st. You guys going to get one? Are you ready for an upgrade? Are you moving to an Android? If you have comments on today's show, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. Voicemail hotline is 619-342-7365. And, of course, tweet me at Geek News as well. And definitely make sure you visit geeknewscentral.com. Marissa Mayer, new Yahoo CEO, and it's being reported she has a secret weapon. Well, it turns out that Melissa was running a program at Google called the Associate Producer Manager, or APM program. And basically, this was a project or a program that basically sought out top folks in schools and brought them in and basically let them work on different projects, paid them to do so, and then tried to hire them after they graduate from college. So this is pretty cool. So basically, what they did is Google hires computer science majors, again, sorry, who just graduated or been in the workplace for fewer than 18 months. And basically, these were folks that were total programming geeks. And they would just interview different folks and bring them in, and then basically throw them into deep water, and they had to head up a production team and so forth. So they were given a lot of responsibility and see if they could handle it. And if they couldn't, they were out. But they had a massive success with this at Google, and they feel she's going to bring this into play at Yahoo. So we'll see where this goes. So a lot of opportunity for those of you that just graduated and have been in the workplace less than 18 months if she employs this the same way. Now, Twitter's CEO, Dick Costello, really has a handful here. There's been a lot of people worried about Twitter growing too big for their britches and basically shunning external developers. And a lot of criticism. And this is what he says. Let me find this exact quote because I think you guys are going to think this is audacious as I did. Costello told Wall Street Journal that the company would soon explain further restrictions and again dropped hints that may sound foreboding to third-party app developers and users. Here's the critical part. He said that instead of wanting companies who build off Twitter, he prefers a world where people build into Twitter. All right, how do you build into Twitter without being it your own thing? I don't get that. Okay, he said he would rather have people or companies he'd rather not have companies wanting to build off Twitter. He prefers a world where people build into Twitter. So what does that mean? I don't get it. I'm sorry. That's as clear as mud. And this is they're throwing some serious bad signals out here. And what this new Twitter platform is going to be is again clear as mud. And they're saying that they want to make this more social and they want it to look more like Facebook. So I guess building into Twitter means your stuff will be an app on Twitter. I don't know about that. I don't spend a lot of time on Twitter. I use apps and, it's an interesting development. I don't know. We'll have to see. All right, let's talk about Kickstarter and journalism. Could Kickstarter be used to crowdfund journalism? Well, some small bloggers are using it to raise, a few bucks here and there to do different projects. One guy is doing some political coverage. He's going to cover like 5 states when the the candidate comes through, and he just needed like $2,500 fuel for his Volkswagen camper and for some food. And he's going to do a couple-month project. That's not very much money to live off of, obviously. But basically, they're talking about, can journalists crowdfund major projects? Something bigger than where someone's just trying to raise money for gas and a little bit of food. I guess that's a good question. And we may find out here in a few weeks at Geek News Central. But I think crowdfunding is going to work good for individuals and small groups. So we'll see where this goes. But definitely not... I'd love to raise $200,000, but that's not the plan. That's not what I'm going to be. I'm actually going to get some serious value for value in the Kickstarter project that I do. And it may not be 100% focused towards the listeners of this show. It's a totally different group, but we'll see. And again, I'm trying to make sure I have it perfect before I launch it because you get one shot. So what do you guys think? Have you guys tried Kickstarter? Have you contributed to a Kickstarter project? Have you gotten stuff from a Kickstarter project and actually product or service or some return on that investment? I know that I have a couple of times. All right. Have you guys ever seen the inside of a aircraft wing or inside of a fuel cell? And I was pretty lucky. I've been able to see airplanes basically torn down to parade rests in all different, shapes and sizes, and look inside wing roots and all kinds of stuff. But if you've never seen the inside of a wing, you may not ever fly after you do. But some guys got inside a fuel tank of a 747 jumbo plane. And, of course, a 747 can carry about 48,000 gallons of fuel. And they have tanks that are large enough in some places that people can actually walk around in them and usually crawl. But if you want to see a cool video, you'll definitely want to check the one out that I have linked up. It's from Gizmodo. Pretty awesome. See the inside of a 747's fuel tank. And I watched it and it was pretty cool. It really was. And you'll get bored real quick because it's just green, a lot of green and steel and little portholes that you have to shimmy through and stuff. But once you see that, you're going to be like, that's all that's in the wing? Are you kidding me? That's all that's in there? Actually, I think sometimes if people knew what the makeup of a wing was, they wouldn't get on an airplane. They work. They're fine. All right, Windows 8 secrets. Well, Windows Store has been revealed. If you want to see what the new Windows 8 Store is going to look like, someone has got in behind the scenes and got a sneak peek. So let me show this to the viewing audience. And it looks a lot like the Windows 8 interface. So there's not, it kind of looks like some of the other stuff we've already seen with Windows. But looks a lot like the Windows 8 startup screen. But it's definitely got an area there for spotlight and categories, new releases and stuff like that. So it'll be cool to see what they come out with this and how this is actually going to integrate here. All right. Download portals reject YouTube converter over privacy concerns. Well, last month, Google's issued warnings to the owners of websites and software which allow you to copy YouTube videos and convert them to MP3s. Now, the developer of a program called RipTunes has discovered that this anti-copying policy has now been carried over to many of the large downloading portals, including Download.com, Softpedia, and apparently some others are saying, "Hey, we'll carry the download, but you're gonna have to pay for every download that happens." But if you want to get access to this, you go to getriptunes.com, and basically you just download it, install it. It'll rip media off of YouTube and change it to an MP3. Just watch it on YouTube. I don't fully understand why people are ripping videos, but I guess it's the new way to get music and get it for free without having to pay for it. So anyway, that's what's going on, and that's why some of the software is no longer available on some of these sites. In New Zealand, they're saying that just by the government and major studios, the mere threat of sending out infringement warnings has supposedly halved movie privacy in less than a month. So after years of battling for 3 strikes, the studios haven't sent out a single warning, but they said nevertheless insist that to reduce piracy further, they'll have to send out thousands. Up to this point, the recording labels want to do the same at a greatly reduced cost, but the ISPs want to charge 4 times more than they do now. So this is basically, they're saying they've reduced the amount of piracy by half just by the threat of sending them out, not the actual ability. And I'd love to see some facts behind those numbers. Now, on the other side of the fence, an accused movie pirate has sued for defamation and millions of damages. And this is a pretty significant countersuit. So this is a BitTorrent user who says he has never, ever downloaded a single piece of adult content in his life. And this gentleman out of Louisville wants millions of dollars in damages for defamation, emotional distress, invasion of privacy, plus a prominent retraction in a local newspaper. He also asked the court to rule that pornography can't be copyrighted as it is not a useful art. I guess it depends on who's watching it. But that almost went not child safe, didn't it? So anyway, long story short here, this guy has countersued in a big way, and it's a significant lawsuit. And he's asked the court to rule that Malibu media movies aren't protected by U.S. copyright law, and he wants to be vindicated, or to be, basically he wants a retribution here. So we'll see. And this can end up being big, but he's got his ducks in a row on this one. He's serious. All right, when I was at CES, I saw this computer, the Series 9. I saw the prototype of it. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is my new dream laptop. This thing is beautiful. Comes in a 13.3 or 15-inch model. It is thin. It is sexy. It is nice. It really is. They've done a fantastic job with this. I don't know let's see if I can find a price on this thing. They haven't priced it, but it is amazing. And I'll be honest with you, I saw this and I was immediately drawn to it. I did, you guys, if you saw the video when we covered it, you can just look for Samsung Series 9 and you can get a full video of the prototype. But this thing's ready to be come on the market. And boy, if I was really due for another computer, this would be the one. It just is incredibly sexy for a Windows machine, and right there, right at the top in class and design as any Apple product on the market for sure. So if you're looking for something sleek, thin, light, enjoy the ultra mobility with some power, this is the machine. And but anyway, it's an impressive accomplishment. It really is. All right, the Super Troll has sued Netflix, Yelp, dozens more over autocomplete. Now, these patent trolls, a shell company that has already actually sued Apple and Nokia over basically the very common autocomplete feature, is now branching out to file dozens of new patent claims against online video firms and retailers. So they've sued Yelp, LinkedIn, Target, Walmart, Netflix, and other infringers, basically saying that English Data Carrier, the company, says that it owns features in which a user enters a few letters and the rest of the word appears. So these patent trolls are costing companies a lot of money. They're thinking on a total of globally about $29 billion a year for this type of litigation. But once again, you got a company that has got a patent, and they're saying, "Pay me, pay me, pay me." So we'll see where this leads. But it's an ongoing. I think about what's going to happen. If small companies start getting sued, that's just going to stifle the economy even worse than it already is. All right, supposedly a hacker is going to be exposing potential security flaw in 4 million hotel room keycard locks. So the next time you stay in a hotel, run your fingers under the key card lock outside your door. If you find a DC power port there, just be noted that a $50 hack might be able to unlock the door. And I'm looking at this particular this door he's showing, and I know that some of the Hilton chains that I stay in have had these types of locks, and they look pretty common. They basically have a little key holder on the top, you slide them in, the light turns green, the door unlocks. But they're saying that this little hack might be the ticket to get into rooms, which is really scary. You leave your stuff in your rooms, you know that there's risk already with a maid coming in and out. But for someone to just be able to plug something into the power port, press a little button on a device and unlock the door, and they're in your room, whether you're there or not, that's just opening the market for lots of thieves doing lots of bad things in hotel rooms. All right, Netgear's come up with a waifu booster for mobile, keeps handhelds connected for $39.99. So yes, if you've got some Wi-Fi dead spots, my daughter's been complaining one part of her room has a dead spot, specifically where one corner of her bed where she likes to lay. So she's asking me to help her fix that. So I may buy her a $39.99 little device to stick in her room. But the question I keep asking is, how do you know? You're supposed to be using your phone in the public spaces. So she's getting that age where she's going to be able to soon not have to be on such a long leash. But anyway, if you got dead spots, this may be the Wi-Fi booster that you want to look at. All right, USB power delivery spec up to 100 watts. This is aimed to make proprietary power connectors obsolete. So essentially, the battle between Thunderbolt and USB 3.0 has only recently begun. But now they're saying that they want to update USB 3.0 to make it carry 100 watts, which is cool because, many times we're carrying extra power plugs with us in order to power our devices. So this will happen on future devices, I'm sure. We'll see where this leads. Hey, a Soyuz is docked with the International Space Station. A Soyuz carrying 3 new International Space Station crew members docked early last week on Tuesday. So we had missed that in our coverage last week. So they're on board. NASA's also selected the Delta II Falcon 9 for upcoming satellite launches. So this is a big win here. But anyway, the Delta II Falcon 9 is going to be used for some future satellite launches. And Japan has launched an International Space Station cargo spacecraft. An H-2B rocket launched the third in a series of Japanese cargo spacecraft, the International Space Station on Thursday. The H-2B rocket lifted off from Tanegamisha Space Center in Japan and released the HTV-3 spacecraft into orbit 15 minutes later. And it's supposed to arrive at the International Space Station on the 27th, which will be grappled and pulled in. So some more supplies coming up to the International Space Station, 4.6 tons. Well, Landsat. Landsat is now 40 years old, and Landsat's been spying down and taking, well, not just spying down, but been looking down and taking pictures of Earth now for 40 years. So lots of stuff has been collected in those 40 years, lots of different types of images and pictures. I don't know what the date separation of those two images I've got up on the screen right now. But anyway, of course, the USGS and NASA jointly run the Landsat program. And so basically, they released 10 of the most significant images from the mission's history. So this is largely because Landsat's strength is cataloging changes on the Earth's surface over time. And many of the images on the following pages are presented in time-lapse video. So I have the link up in the show notes for you to take a peek and see of this. All right, rapid fire here. Kim.com goes on the mega offense against U.S. copyright case. He's basically calling the president out. He put a video on the street basically saying, hey, Mr. President, what are you doing? And he's basically encouraging people not to vote for the president. So he's saying, are you going to vote yes or no? And he's got a case on why you should or shouldn't. So interesting that he's going after the president on this, and probably not winning, influencing any friends in the process. A life hacker article. Hey, I always looking for tips and tricks. I'm not what I call a power user, Mac user, because I just I don't use my Mac enough. But if you want to quickly add an item to your Mac's dock or sidebar, there is some tricks you can use. You can use Command T or Command Shift T. So Command Shift T is best utilized in your web browser. So I guess this has been part of the OS 10 since 10.6. But a couple of tricks to optimizing your utilization of Mac and your dock. The folks at Siemens, the German conglomerate Siemens, on Monday said that it had fixed a vulnerability in its software products that appeared to be identical to those allowed the Stuxnet computer program to disrupt Iran's nuclear program. Siemens said it's updated its Semantic Step 7 and Semantic WinCC software application to address vulnerabilities first discovered in 2010. According to Siemens, the Step 7 update fixes a loading mechanism for Windows Dynamic Link Library files that can be hacked to force systems into executing malicious code. So they went through and updated, and Siemens produces a lot of basically hardware that are kind of like these very simple programs that flip the switch or make something turn or speed up and go slower. They do a lot of these control products, so they're trying to update those control products to make them not as vulnerable. Last couple articles here. Google's been pretty surprised by the Nexus 7 demand. I didn't order one. I should have. But they have suspended sales for a few days as they're getting more into stock. But the demand has been huge. And UK, moving on topics, UK ISPs have basically are blocking the latest IPs that the Pirate Bay has put down. And immediately the Pirate Bay added some more IPs. So, hundreds of redirects and stuff are available to get into the Pirate Bay. So this battle is going to continue for a long, long time. Hey, did you know the world got a little heavier? The world population has grown beyond 7 billion people. 7 billion. With the crop damages and the drought that's going on through the United States, the United States pretty much feeds the world, a large portion of it. I just wonder how much food we won't be able to export next year to countries and people that need it. Now, are you old school folks? Do you miss the sound of your typewriter? Well, there's a new app out there called Noisy Typewriter. And you can load that on your Mac. And as you're typing stuff, it's going to send a click, 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 click noise like you used to have in the old days with your typewriter. So if you missed that, it's available. Definitely check it out. All these links, again, will be up in GNCShowNotes.com. Don't forget to become an insider at geeknewscentral.com/insider. Let me go ahead and here and look at what we have for emails that have come in. And let me look at the date today. Today is the 23rd. Last show was on the 19th. Well, not too many emails. Kind of quiet. Hey, got an email from Richard. Say, hey, Todd, I was looking through your pics on Facebook and saw a picture of you at Vancouver. Were you there covering the Olympics? If so, I didn't even know you did. Just wondering. Richard, no, we were at CES and we were at the NBC Universal booth. And they had pictures. It was basically... they had the broadcast booth decked out with Olympics attire. And when we were doing some live shows from NBC Universal's live booth there at CES, that's probably where you saw that. So nope, I did not go to Vancouver to cover the Olympics. I'm not supposed to use that O word. Whoops, copyright violation. Sorry. I got another email here talking about studio movie see piracy halved after sending 0 infringement notice. Oh, I got that as well. And I want to thank Richard for that as well. Got an email here from Tom that sent a private note. So I want to thank you for that, Tom. But other than that, kind of quiet on the email part. So anyway, that's it for today's show. Didn't take you out too far, did I? Where are we at? We're at about an hour 12, so not bad. As a reminder, you can reach me on Twitter at Geek News. You can email me geeknews@gmail.com. Of course, the voicemail hotline is 619-342-7365. Open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I hope you enjoyed today's show. It's been my pleasure. It's been wonderful being home for a while. And right now, I don't have any scheduled travel for at least 2 or 3 more weeks. So I'm really stoked to be home and getting caught up on stuff here. Hope you guys have been enjoying the shows from the studio. And for the audio audience, I got some cool stuff in the show notes for you tonight to check out that you missed out. So make sure you go to GNCShowNotes.com and look at all the links and all the stuff that I've highlighted tonight. But thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Thanks again. Ohana means family in Hawaii, and all you guys are fantastic being part of the Ohana members. Don't forget our GoDaddy special and try the GoToMeeting trials as well. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Aloha.